Summer passed, and the color of autumn deepened. Since the semester had just begun, we didn't have much work to do in the student council. This year, at least, the student council wasn't putting on any performances or activities at the culture festival, so we weren't chained down by anything. I couldn't tell what Nanami Toko thought about that from how she looked on the surface. It was our first culture festival of high school. Even the inside of the now familiar school building gave off a completely different impression, now that it was full of decorations and outsiders. When I looked at the lively, handmade decorations, it made me feel as if Christmas had come early. The people advertising performances bustled up and down the halls with many mismatched footfalls. Were there always this many students at our school? Right? I wonder where they were all hiding. The stream of people was particularly dense, since there were upper-class men traveling past the first-year classrooms as well. There were even boy-girls pair of students wandering around, which caught my eye despite myself. You look pretty amazed, Tuko remarked, much to my embarrassment. I hadn't thought I was staring around so obviously. Culture festivals were a much more modest affair in my junior high. Back then, we just had a line of lackluster displays planned out in each classroom and an old movie showing in the gym. It was dim, dusty, and humid. As soon as I peeked in and saw what it was like, I immediately left. To be honest, the impression it left on me was mostly just that it was a very boring event. Compared to that, the high school version really did seem like an actual festival. We passed by students holding stamp cards all over the place. They seemed to pique Tuko's interest, and her eyes followed them. Then her eyes met mine. Want to do it too? I did think it might be fun to go around the school with Tuko, but Tuko seemed indecisive as she walked towards the side of the hallway. Oh, it's Serizawa. Looking out the window, she pointed at the corner of the lined-up stalls. The signboards of the stalls set up at the side of the school grounds sported cramped depictions of basketballs, takoyaki, and product names. Basketball takoyaki? Is it really? I cocked my head to the side. The takoyaki in the serving trays looked normal-sized, no matter how I looked at them. That's false advertising. There was a boy and a girl in charge of the stall cooking, and they both looked familiar. It was the girl who had confessed, and the boy who had been confessed to, I realized. I couldn't tell if they were trying to hide it from the others around them or not, but they seemed intimate as they talked, and their faces were slightly flushed. Is that what they call being young and in love? Toko asked, pointing at them. I didn't know how to respond. Well, they certainly seemed to be having a good time. They had confessed their love to each other, barely a month into starting high school, and were still together. I guess they really were drawn to each other, by more than a passing whim then. So time really wasn't everything. We watched them enjoying themselves from afar as we stepped away from the window. After walking for a while, a familiar sounding hawker called out to us. Hey, How about you two nice young ladies? Manaka stood in front of the classroom, wearing her school uniform and a sign on her shoulder. What are you doing? Can't you tell? I'm trying to get people to come to our program. Aren't you part of the going home club? She didn't even seem to be advertising a program that was related to the classroom she was standing in front of, either. I'm helping out Midori. Manaka gestured for us to peek into the classroom, where Midori was standing around in an apron, looking bored. It's a cafe, organized by the English Club, where you can eat cookies shaped like the ABCs. How quaint. Honestly, other than that, it's like any other normal cafe. Oh, and we can handle if a foreigner comes by. So we've written this on the sign, so they know they're in good hands. See? She pointed at the sign where the word hello, misspelled like that, was written out in large letters. That called into question the result of the day-to-day club activities. I sure can't speak it though. Manaka grinned and flapped her hands in front of her face. We decided to go in to show support of our friends. Midori welcomed us with a smile. So Manaka finally managed to snag some customers. She led us to the window, which she claimed were the deluxe seats. The coffee and cookies we ordered came out immediately. When I smelled the aroma of the coffee as it came to us, I suspected it was the same stuff as there was in the student council room. Hey, doesn't this look like kind of the hiragana character, Ko? There was a conspicuous character from the Japanese writing system, mixed among the alphabet cookies. Oh, I made that one myself. Midori peeked at the table and offered an explanation. It was originally supposed to be a K, but then it broke. I wonder if the leftover I is mixed in there too. It's pretty hard, you know. She grumbled, pressing her lips together and narrowing her eyes. I guess I'll need to practice more if we do another one of these. You're practicing making cookies. Shouldn't you be practicing English instead? That's not really the kind of club we are. Midori laughed it off light-heartedly. Then what kind of club was it supposed to be? Hey, Sayaka, have you got a Y? Toko asked, sifting through her cookies with her finger. I do. Why? Could you lend it to me? Sure. Responding to Toko's request, I passed over the Y cookie. Toko took it and placed it in a gap between the other letters. I did it! Toko flaunted her line of cookies. What she had done was spell out Sayaka. I had a lot of A's, so I was curious whether I could spell it. Ahaha. Between the way she was playing like a child and the fact that she chose to spell out my name of all the possible combinations, I just couldn't help laughing. Let me try too. I lined up my cookies. I started out with a T, so Toko probably immediately knew what I was doing. I quickly found the next letter, but my K had been broken. Hey, do you have any more Ks? Nope. What a shame. In the end, all I could do was spell out Toio. Who's that? Toio. Like I said, who? Toko opened her eyes wide, overreacting dramatically. Then the two of us laughed lightheartedly. It was silly, but also quite fun.